Hello everyone, I do hope you're well. Michelle here. I'm guessing that many of you who find this video will have seen the 4-part Netflix series on the death of Elisa Lam at the Cecil Hotel in LA. It's an intriguing but disturbing case, and I want to know what you think happened to Elisa. In this video, I'm going to tell you my theory. And I'm afraid, spoiler alert, it isn't about paranormal, it isn't about conspiracy theories. I think this is purely and simply a story of a mentally ill young woman who met an unfortunate end when she was away travelling, having fun. But first, a little backstory on Elisa. Elisa Lam was the daughter of immigrants from Hong Kong who'd moved to Vancouver, Canada to start a new life. At the time of her death, she was a student at the University of British Columbia. She wanted to take a trip to California. She told her social media Tumblr all about her plans. She feared that her parents wouldn't let her travel, but she was 21 years old. She was an adult. The concern was her bipolar disorder. The bipolar diagnosis forms the bedrock of my theory on what happened. Elisa visited San Diego. She posted photos taken there on her Tumblr. On January 26, 2013, she arrived in Los Angeles. After 2 days there, she checked into the Cecil Hotel, which is close to LA's Skid Row. Elisa was initially assigned to a shared room on the hotel's 5th floor. Her roommates, though, complained about her behaviour. She was behaving oddly. She wouldn't let them in. She asked for a password before they could enter the room. So the staff moved her to a room on her own after a couple of days there. The Cecil Hotel itself has been the subject of much controversy. When it was new in the 1920s, it was originally designed to be an upmarket business hotel, but it had lots of financial difficulties starting during the Great Depression of the 1930s, and it never recaptured its original kind of market value. And by the time Elisa stayed there, it had been the subject to murders and suicides. I think this has inspired many of the theories that now surround the case. Elisa had been prescribed 4 medications for her bipolar disorder, and during her autopsy it was found that these drugs, these medications, were in her system but at very, very low levels, which indicates that Elisa wasn't taking her medication as prescribed. Now I'm going to show you the elevator footage. I'm sure that many of you have seen this footage, but I want to take you through some of the aspects and pick out what I think is going on in Elisa's mind. I am a psychologist, that's my day job, but this is just my personal opinion, my theory, and I want to know what you think in the comments. Do you believe that she was murdered? Do you think there was some kind of conspiracy theory regarding TB or something else? Let me know. This is such an intriguing case. I'm sure that you might have a different opinion to me. Let's do it. Much of what the web sleuths there's thousands and thousands of videos of people poring over what Elisa is doing with these buttons. She's just kind of like pressing every button. She presses one at the bottom, which it's believed is the one that keeps the elevator doors open. Whether Elisa knows that, whether she's just randomly pressing buttons, we'll never know. Like here, she's kind of waiting. Now, she doesn't look like she's in any distress. One of the theories is that she's hiding from somebody. She's like trying to get away. Her body language, to me, doesn't indicate that. She's kind of like peeking out like a child when they're hiding, when they're playing hide and seek. Is she playing hide and seek with a real person? Or is she playing hide and seek with something that no one else can see? And this kind of brings in this kind of paranormal aspect. You know, there's been murders, there's been suicides at the Cecil Hotel, and it's understandable that people might draw a paranormal conclusion to this. I don't. I think it depends on what lens you're looking at this from. You know, we're all looking at theories here, and my lens is that of a psychologist, and that Elisa is having a psychotic episode. So she is in fact seeing something that we can't see, but it's in her mind. It's not a paranormal occurrence. She's quite playful. And this, where she's hiding, this is kind of the photo that everybody has, that everybody uses, that she's hiding in the corner. You know, she's scared of somebody. She's hiding, yes, but she's not got a scared body posture. She's got quite relaxed body posture. Bit distorted, but it looks like she's smiling to me. She's peeking out again. She's not in any rush. And that little jump, that's a playful jump. That's not somebody who's hiding from a potential murderer. And that looks like, it's like dancing steps, or some kind of ritualistic stepping. Again, not one that indicates fear. It's been suggested that parts of the footage have been clipped out. I'm not opposed to that theory. If the footage has been doctored in some way, possibly because a worker at the hotel walked by and saw her, doesn't want the hotel implicated. Even if the footage has been doctored, it doesn't disprove my theory that Elisa is in a psychotic episode and she's not actually fleeing from somebody or even talking to somebody at this point. Not somebody who's real anyway. And there, again, she looks like she's laughing. It's very open body posture, playful. And she does all the button things again. I mean, for me, if she was running from somebody, if the first time the elevator didn't work, she'd have run. She'd have tried to find another way to escape. And it's this bit here that intrigues me the most. It's her hand movements. She's very animated, like she's talking to an imaginary person, like gesticulating to an imaginary person. It's like, what is that? It's like she's directing music or directing traffic or singing. Is she singing? This with her fingers. Is she counting? Or is that more like somebody bending their fingers back? You know, like you can bend your fingers back to make them crack. Some people do that. It's a shame we can't see what she's doing at this point. Has she gone? And there the elevator closes. Now I'm going to play that bit with the hand gestures again, slowed down. I've slowed it down to half its speed, just for my curiosity, because I want to know what she's doing. She's directing traffic or directing music, and I kind of think she's singing. There, she's laughing. So I think she's in a psychotic episode, and how she got up to the roof. The Netflix documentary talked about the fire escape that she would have had to climb up like a ladder, but it wasn't fire alarmed. So I know her parents tried to like sue the hotel, but that was dismissed. And, you know, if she climbed up the fire escape, which can't be alarmed because it's a fire escape. I mean, look at these arm gestures. What is she doing? She's dancing. But yeah, the case was dismissed because you can't give an alarm to a fire escape. But to climb up a ladder onto the roof, I mean, if that was a murder, how would you get a body up there, or would you demand her to go up there? And again, there's no indication here at all that she's in any kind of fear. But what do you think? You let me know in the comments. But I want to talk to you about bipolar disorder, because I've heard it said that, yeah, even if she was suffering from, you know, a bipolar manic episode, it wouldn't be that bad. But actually it is. The more serious form of bipolar disorder is bipolar 1. This is from the American Psychiatric Association. So bipolar 1 is diagnosed when a person experiences a manic episode. So during this manic episode, people with bipolar 1 disorder experience an extreme increase in energy. They feel on top of the world. You can have kind of like a mixed episode where you're both depressed and manic at the same time. Or because you lose so much sleep, your body starts to get exhausted. So you're still in a manic episode, but you become irritable. I don't see that Elisa is irritable. I think she's elated. She's experiencing some kind of joy. Maybe seeing things, you know, a true psychotic episode. You know, people hallucinate, they see things, they hear things. Was she hearing music? Was she singing? Some people with bipolar 1 disorder also experience depressive or hypomanic episodes. Hypomanic is where you're not in psychosis, but you have this elated kind of feeling. And then you've got periods of neutral mood. And well-medicated bipolar, regardless of the type, well-medicated or well-treated bipolar, people can live perfectly normal lives most of the time. But in bipolar 1, a manic episode is a period of at least 1 week where a person is extremely high-spirited or irritable most of the day for most days. And because Elisa was behaving oddly, can understand the hotel wanting to kind of downplay the fact that she was complained about by her initial roommates. She had to be moved. I get that, you know, the hotel wants to minimise this. It doesn't downplay my theory at all if there was some kind of cover-up at the hotel level. But what Elisa might have been experiencing is decreased need for sleep. People in a true full-blown manic episode just don't sleep. They feel energetic, their speech is fast, they have racing thoughts, they have quickly changing ideas, they're extremely distractible, they're very restless. And one key component of bipolar 1 disorder is the increase in risky behaviours. Now, this can manifest in many ways. It can manifest in promiscuous behaviour or excessive spending, or in Elisa's case, it could have been that she wanted to do something exciting. She wanted to get onto the roof. She felt so high. She wanted to get as high as possible. Some people in manic episodes, they die, not because they've committed suicide, but because they'll get onto a roof and they'll jump off. They'll think they can fly. Now, why Elisa got into the tank, I can't explain why she did that. Was this kind of a playful game of hide and seek? She seemed to be playing hide and seek in the lift. was she playing hide and seek on the roof and saw the tanks and thought, I'm going to hide in there. Didn't realise that she wouldn't be able to get out again, unfortunately. I want to play you a clip from a documentary on bipolar disorder. And this is someone called Paul, who was interviewed when he was in the throes of bipolar 1 psychosis. And there's similarities in the movements that Paul was making and what Elisa might have been experiencing. Paul is a successful businessman, or at least he was in his younger days. He was a champion amateur golf player. Whatever he took on, he mastered. He became a multimillionaire through his businesses, but was racked with these manic episodes where he was completely delusional. And when he came down off one of these delusional periods and watched himself back in this documentary, he understood how delusional he was. But when he's in the throes of this manic episode, he's not with us. He's not with reality. See what you think.
I will be using this with antimatter photon lasers because what I have is creation at the end of my thoughts. In the counter suite, most magnificent suite, here will be Moses and the resurrection of Moses and his family, and the Isa resurrection of Jesus Christ and his family.
So poor Elisa, on her own, feeling elated, not being able to understand her feelings. And manic episodes can be brought on or exacerbated by excitation. So she's excited about travelling. She's in a new place. She wants to take in the world. And this game of hide and seek, this joyousness that she had, ended in utter tragedy. But what do you think? Tell me your theory. Do you think she was murdered? Or do you think there's a paranormal element to this or a conspiratorial element to this? Or do you share my belief that this was a tragic accident of a young woman with her whole life before her, taken away by her own mental illness? Guys, I hope you're well. I've been Michelle. I'll see you in the next video.